Hi YouTube, how are you doing? And welcome back to Phasmophobia. Today we are back with another weekly challenge, and this one is super fun. It is called Detectives Only. Put your detective skills to the test. This ghost is giving nothing away, and it is, as you might be able to tell from the description, a no evidence challenge, which is my favorite challenge in the entire game. We're going to be doing it on Edgefield. We'll see how it goes. I hope you enjoy. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop into the game. Let's go. All right, what do we spin? This is 100% gotta be the ghost. I still have Revenant here. Just misspelled. Will it be a Yurei? Alright, let's hop in. We have 7%, 1.5 with one all-in, versus 19 million channel points on the other side. Alright, so if this is a good time to do a no evidence challenge. If you've never done a no evidence challenge before, this is a perfect time to at least try it out, because the weekly is themed around it. So if you can actually complete 3 of them, you can get 5,000 bucks. The ghost here is called Becky Miller. We have capture photo of the ghost, parabolic microphone, and rappel. We might do all of that. Now, I do see that we have tier 1 items, which I guess is a good way to practice if you're still new to the game on how to actually use your own equipment, which doesn't really matter that much, by the way. Tier 1 equipment is much worse if you actually have to find evidence, but if you have no evidence, it doesn't really matter, because the no evidence items, or like the tier 1 evidence items, still work pretty well. Like the crucifix and the salt is still fine. What even is no evidence? If this is really your first time, it means that the ghost is gonna give no orbs, no dots, no writing, no spirit box, no EMF, no freezing, no fingerprints, nothing. You're only gonna get the behavior of the ghost. For example, if you get a Revenant, the ghost is going to be super fast or super slow during a hunt. If you get a Wraith, it's going to be teleporting outside of the hunt. So you really have to know the behavior of the ghost to be able to figure out what's going on. And I'm going to be explaining all of that today during my challenge right here. And also, Mystic Meg, thank you for the 5 gift subs. I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to hop in with what items? What do you want to start with? First of all, you want to find the ghost. So we're going to actually bring 2 evidence items, not to find their corresponding evidence, but to find the ghost. So we're gonna hop in, see. I don't know if we have a cursed possession. That would be kind of nice. The breaker starts off. I always recommend turning that on so you can test for potential djinn. If it turns off the breaker, it will not be a djinn. It's a Ouija board. Ooh, that could be actually fun as well. Wait. We can test for one specific ghost. You probably already know it. We can test for Thay with that, because Thay, if you know their behavior, is a ghost that starts off really dangerous and then gets less and less aggressive over time when it gets older. And it will actually physically get older on the board as well. So what we can do is at the start of a game, talk to the board and ask, how old are you? How old are you? There we go. 24, that is really young, and that actually interesting. I wonder, I've never tested this yet, because it's rare for you to get the Ouija board with the Thay combination. I don't know if you could technically rule out Thay if you get like a ghost that's already 70 years old or something at the start. I don't think so. I think a Thay can just be any year, or any age at the start, and then get older over time. Goodbye. We're not gonna, goodbye, please. Goodbye. I was going to ask the pickle question. We'll ask the pickle questions later. We'll see. Now, I assume also, because it's called Detectives Only, it is going to be low activity, which is actually going to make it harder, specifically to find the ghost at the start. So what you can do as a little trick is, it seems like the doors start open, at least somewhat. You can close all the doors that you're not currently at. Like if I open this door, obviously it's fine. I'm checking for temperature in here, which is actually seems to be going up a little bit. Now, because the breaker started off at the start of the contract, it is going to be cold in the house. And if you're usually playing on amateur or something like that, where I heard a sound, where the breaker, it was this door right here. And we have a phone as well, look at that. If you usually play on a difficulty where the breaker starts on, I think that's only amateur. Or maybe even intermediate. I actually don't know. I know for sure on amateur. The temperature will start high at the beginning of a match. However, if the breaker starts off, the temperature will be super cold in the house at the beginning of the match, so it's going to be a little harder to find the ghost. We can also start with another evidence items to rule out another ghost, which is the Mimic. The Mimic will still give orbs even during a no evidence challenge, because it is actually not evidence. it is an ability to show the orbs, which are like specific for the mimic. Now, because we had sound there, doesn't have to mean that the ghost is in this room, although it does seem to be cold here as well, because the ghost can interact with stuff through walls, so it could also be in this room, for example. So you do really want to double check with your equipment, which it seems to be below 5 degrees right now. So also it did exactly what I was talking about. It turned off the breaker. That already allows us to rule out one ghost right here, which is gonna be the Djinn, because the Djinn's ability is like requires the breaker to be on, so the Djinn will not nerf itself by turning off the breaker. So if you get it to turn off the breaker, and you know that it for sure turned off the breaker, because another way that the breaker can turn off is if you yourself turn on a bunch of lights, the breaker will eventually explode. Now, I also always like to turn it back on for many reasons. The breaker should be on because it will give you lights, which is very useful for seeing and looping the ghost in case that you get a hunt. It will also heat up the house, which makes it easier to find what the ghost room is. It will also allow you to test for something like a Hantu. Like if it keeps turning off the breaker over and over and over again, you might be dealing with a Hantu here because they are more likely to turn off the breaker. So there's just a lot of reasons for it to be nice. And of course, when you have the light, you can also keep your sanity high, which is very important. We're getting a touch over there. Now, that is so far into the room that we can pretty much assure that this is actually the ghost room. Let's see. Are we going to get a mimic right away? That'd be hilarious. I am not seeing orbs. Now, sometimes the orbs can be sneaky for the mimic, so I always recommend checking multiple times. But at least as of now, I don't see anything. So I'm just gonna drop that on the floor, and we're gonna grab some more items. What are the items? So you might be confused, like if you've never done a no evidence before, what the fuck do I do then? If you're always used to bringing in the evidence items and looking for that, you're not gonna find any of that. So what do you do then? You bring in like the left side of the truck. The right side is all about evidence. Left side is all about secondary evidence. Stuff like the paramic for the Banshee Scream. Stuff like the salt for the Wraith, not being able to step in it. Stuff like the candle plus crucifix combo for an Onryo test. So we're gonna grab a candle. We already have a crucifix in there. We already have some salt in there, and I think I'm also gonna grab a photo cam just in case we get a ghost event, and then we can test for a phantom as well, because the phantom will disappear when you take a photo. So what I always set up at the start of a no evidence run, if I don't immediately start with like a hunt, which is another good way to do no evidence, is just immediately starting with hunts, but I assume that if this is your first time, you're not gonna go crazy like that immediately. So I'm just gonna set up this candle plus crucifix. Important is to put the candle on top of the crucifix like this, because if you put it somewhere else, it's not gonna work. How does the Onryo test work? It basically, if you have an Onryo, the candle counts as a crucifix, and the ghost cannot possibly hunt if there is, like, in the area around a candle. It can obviously hunt from a different room or far away from the candle, but if I place it like this on top of the crucifix, if the crucifix gets used, you know for a fact that it can't be an Onryo because it will turn off the candle first before using the crucifix. So if it uses the crucifix, candle is still on, you know, wait a minute, it's not an Onryo, which is very useful. Now, obviously, we're early in the match here, and I think I turn off the breaker again, which might actually indicate that we could be dealing with a Hantu here. So I'm gonna turn it on one more time. If it turns it off again, I think I'm gonna leave it off because it's just gonna waste too much time going up and down the stairs. We can also already ask the age question, which should already have shown, like, it should already have gotten older if it's a Thay. So let's see. How old are you? Now, it does cost 5% sanity to do this, by the way. How old are you? I would like you to answer my question. How old are you? There we go. 24. Goodbye. How many pickles can you fit up your butt? 4, maybe. I don't know. Do you like me? Goodbye! Fucking rude ass. Anyway, I don't know. It's just not feeling like it today. Alright, so we can rule out a Thay because the Thay would have already gotten older, so the age would have changed on the board. Which didn't happen. So we're gonna turn that back on. Now, another thing that the Onryo does outside of being stopped from hunting by the candle is that if it blows out a candle, it actually has a chance to hunt because it like gains power from that. Pretty much, that's the idea. But this does not apply for the first 2 candle blowouts, but on the 3rd candle blowout, it will always hunt. So now the candle is off. We know the ghost blew it out. So that's number 1 candle blowout. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna light it again. And then we're gonna see when it blows this out. And then for the 3rd time, we have to be very attentive and see if it hunts right after the 3rd candle blowout. then you know it's probably gonna be an Onryo. Now, we're also gonna place some salt here. Just, I guess, randomly around the room. You can place it in the door if you think it's gonna roam. We'll see. It's still cold here. That's what you want to check every now and then. You can also see the cold breath, which means it's below 5 degrees in a room, which doesn't mean that it's freezing temperatures anymore, obviously, as you can see by the fact that there's no evidence. Can you give us a sign? You can talk to the ghost. You can also, other ways, like how do you make the ghost angry? It blew out the candle again. That's the second blowout. You can take a picture of that. We're gonna light it for the 3rd time here, which after this, if it doesn't hunt, after this blowout, it should not be an Onryo, because the Onryo should always hunt after the 3rd candle blowout. Now, sometimes you get it to be a little bugged. I've had it happen here and there, but it should happen. If it hunts now, it's fine. If I don't have a smudge. It turned off the breaker again. So this is heavy Hantu energy. Like, this is way more than you would expect. And it blew out for a 3rd time. Nothing. It can take like a second or two, but it seems like nothing is going on. So I'm gonna take this picture again. Ghost photo. Oh no! No! I took the picture and the camera's so slow I couldn't take the ghost photo. All right, well, it happens. It turned on the... It's gonna bait me over here. So it should not be an Onryo. Don't kill me, please. Because it just blew out the candle for a 3rd time, did not hunt right away. Now, we also got it to step in the salt, so we can tell it's not a Wraith. We can tell it's not an Onryo based on that, so that's already a bunch off. Now, we would have loved to rule out Phantom there, but we couldn't. I'm gonna quickly go outside to grab his smudge, because we are probably gonna get lower sanity. We lost 10% because of the board. We got a ghost event, which also drains some sanity. So we are already at 30% sanity. Wow, wait a minute. That's like heavy Oni energy, or... We couldn't be a Jinn, no. We didn't hear Yurei ability? My sanity just got demolished. That's interesting. So that could be an Oni, but we're also still looking for Hantu, or it could be a Yurei where we didn't hear the ability for some reason. So, okay, we're definitely gonna get hunted now, so let's do a hunt check. So I'm gonna grab 2 smudge sticks here. And that's basically all you need. Did we get an airball? I don't know. I don't think we got an airball. We just got 1 single ghost event, which was a normal ghost event. It did sound like an airball, but you gotta make sure to look at the ghost event and not just do it based off of sound. So now that I want to get hunts, I would really, really like for the breaker to be on so I can loop it here in this area with the lights on rather than it being super dark. Oh, fuck me, I guess. Well, I'm gonna wait slow. Okay. That looks good. Oh! Did you see that? Okay, can we get that again? Wait. Oh, it was super short. So if you were paying very close attention, you saw that for a single blink there, instead of being the like patient model, it turned into a grandma for 1 frame and then went back to the patient model. So it looks like it's probably gonna be an Obake. We're gonna check one more time for the mimic orbs, just to make sure that we're not getting sneaky mimics here. I'm gonna smudge just to prevent the hunt. It did not get stopped by the crucifix here, which is interesting. So let's see. We're gonna see if there's orbs. I'm not seeing any again, unless the ghost room changed, which will be Mega Troll. So I think I'm gonna leave. So sometimes that's the thing with no evidence. A lot of the abilities that the ghosts have are just instant giveaways. If you can find them, which you oftentimes have to put yourself in harm's way to get those abilities that are easy to spot, such as during hunts like this, you can just immediately finish a contract. That's why I think it's really important to, or not necessarily important, but it's really fun to know a lot of this stuff, because it will really help you out against those really difficult ghosts that are just not showing any evidence, or if your friends have like used the voodoo doll for a bunch of times, you're at 0 sanity, you're getting chain hunted. It's really useful to know the ghost abilities so that you can still be useful and still potentially figure out the ghost even when you can't really get safely to the ghost room anymore. So that was just an 11-minute game right there. Pretty easy, 1 hunt and done kind of deal. Now we have to do that 2 more times, so let's see what we get on the second run here. And also, Let's see what we get on the second spin here. No Yurei that time, unfortunately, even though our sanity was low, which that sometimes just happens, like, as you saw there. Will it be a mare this time? Even though our sanity was low, it was not any sanity-related ghosts. We have one all-in, Aurus again. You did win last week, but hopefully again this week. We have 21 million over here. Holy. All right, Charles Robinson, Cleanse, average sanity below 25, and Paramike. Alrighty, let's see it. So I want to still set up for, like, the stuff that you can do outside of a hunt first, instead of just immediately rushing to hunts, because that's obviously going to be scary for a lot of people. So I think we have the board every time. That's at least what people seem to say. So we can once again ask for age right away. We're gonna do that here. Hopefully it's gonna reply a little better this time. Let's see. It's through something. Wait, always if you hear something, check right away. I thought I heard that out here, maybe? I think it was on this, oh, this right here. The picture frame fell on the floor, so it might be living room, might be kitchen, we'll see. I'm gonna ask real quick how old you are. How old are you? There you go. Oh, it's just one more year, guys. How many pickles can you fit up your butt? How many pickles can you fit up your ass? All right, it's playing hard to get, or it's 8 pickles. Either way, impressive. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay, they're not listening to me today. Holy. Whatever. So 68 right now. Maybe if it's a they, we'll get 69. That would be nice. I heard, so the sound came from there, but we need to confirm if it was actually the living room, and we also want to turn on the breaker, because being in the dark is just gonna drain your sanity, and then you're gonna get hunts that you might not expect. Plus, it's also useful, obviously. So did it turn on a light? I swear I turned this on, right? I swear I heard a click, but it might not be. All right, how cold is it here? Can you give me a sign? It's still very hot here, unless my tier 1 is just being garbage, as usual. No, it's going down. The tier 1 is now, like, really random, where it'll kind of go up and down randomly before going to the right temperature. It's pretty awful. Maybe it's in the hallway, actually. It's going up. I think the reason it started so hot here this time is because it's normal weather. There's no, like, snow, rain, or any effect at all. This is interesting. This could actually be much better than just finding the ghost room. We might have just gotten an important hint about the ghost ability, because seemingly it's not actually here. Unless it's gonna go down to like 10 degrees now. No, it's going back up immediately. That is really good. Reason being, it might be, well, not for the believers, but for us in like wanting to figure out the ghost it is. It might be a ghost that has a teleporting ability, such as the Phantom, Wraith, or Banshee. Those are the 3 main Stalker ghosts. Now, the best one of those can go from anywhere on the map is the Wraith. The Banshee can be the most aggressive Stalker depending on the location of the ghost room, because the ghost cannot loop across. The ghost cannot, like, let's say the ghost room is upstairs. The Banshee cannot use its ability to go downstairs. It can only go on the same floor, or if it's in the basement, or if it's in the attic. It's like really weird, specific scenarios in which it can actually do it. Now, you can also, in case you have an interaction that's far away from the ghost room, you can also, as Chad is saying, have the twins instead. But it seems like it's not even on the ground floor at all here, so we should just quickly check. It might be even in the basement here. Because I've checked every room and I'm not seeing any cold temperature whatsoever. So I'm quickly gonna go down. Now on Point Hope it's different, because on Point Hope they have like special cases where it can actually roam up and down stairs. Oh, there you go. The saw is on the ground. That's not usually there. So I think we have a basement ghost here, which could mean that it just walked up the stairs, threw something, and then immediately went back down. Or it could be a Banshee, because Banshees, as I said, can also roam out of basements to a different floor. Or it could be the twins standing on the top of the stairs. There's actually quite a few options here, but it seems like we have found the ghost room now. So I am going to grab the basic stuff again and see what we're gonna get here. So I'll start with the video cam for Mimic, because that's like an instant giveaway. There's very little activity happening right now. Because they also have set it to low activity, I think. Because it said that it didn't give anything away. I'm gonna grab the candle and the crucifix. What's really nice about the new candles, if you're coming back to Phasmo, you might remember the old candles that would just go out randomly all the time. However, they would also last forever. They will be infinite. The upside of the candles that we have now is that they will never go out by themselves. They will only ever turn off if the ghost blows them out. But they will eventually go out by just burning out entirely. So I think this one lasts 5 minutes? They changed it recently. I think it might be 5 minutes. And then it will just be completely empty and you can't light it anymore. But the upside is that if I leave right now and I come back and the candle is off and it's not burnt out, I know that I can add 1 to the counter for Onryo, and I don't have to like wonder, wait, maybe the Onryo blew it out, maybe it didn't, and you're like in a bit of a confusing situation, such as that. We know the ghost just did that, so that's the first blowout. I'll let you do the second one, and I'm gonna grab some more stuff. And then on the third one, you really want to be in the map, because the Onryo is not gonna hunt if there's no one in the map. After the third candle blowout, so you want to make sure that you don't just run out of the map or turn off the candle. We're at 70% right now. It's nice to know what your sanity is and then make sure it doesn't drop anymore by being in the light, so you can test for certain abilities relating to sanity. That can be the Yurei, the Jinn, the Banshee, the Oni. They all have some stuff with sanity. I'll grab the photo cam. I'll grab a smudge just in case, and I'll grab the salt right now. I haven't done the... We could do paramite as well, because it could be a Banshee, but it is the tier 1 paramite. I don't know why they felt the need to give us tier 1 stinky garbage on this challenge, because it is a pretty difficult challenge, to be honest. Okay, so the candle is still on right now. Now, I don't know if this counts as being in the same room, because the shade has... Okay, it's touching the door. The shade will never blow out a candle if you're in the same room. We also got the footsteps immediately, so it's not a wraith. However, I don't know if this... it obviously is all the basement, but I don't know if for the purpose of a shade, this is also the same room. We'll see. Let's look around for the orbs. So we're gonna be in the dark for a little bit, which means our sanity is gonna drop, but it's gonna be worth it if we find the mimic. It's a bit of an annoying room to look for the orbs. We're getting quite a bit of activity while I'm in this room right now. I'm not seeing shit, so I'm gonna turn back on the light. It's blinking the light. Is this bugged? I think we got the disco bug. How did that happen? Disco bug? I think this happens when the ghost is blinking the lights and you turn off the light at the same time. So I guess the ghost decided to blink the lights when I turned that off. So I'm sorry for the flashing lights, but nothing I can do about that. This is a famously totally bug-free game, so it's very rare to find bugs, as we all know. Totally serious. Can you give me a sound? Okay, second blowout. It's stepping in the salt again. So the third one here will be very important. You want to make sure to turn off your lighter immediately so it's not going to blow out your lighter and mess with the count. All right, hold on to my smudge. Now you can see the candle is kind of nearing its end, so I want to babysit the candle right now to make sure that it's not going out by burning out, but instead it's going to go out by the ghost blowing it out. Can you stop discoing and blow out this candle instead, you piece? Now with the smudge stick, I should be totally safe. It also seems like the hunts were really short that last round, which can actually be annoying. Because the longer the hunt, the easier it is to find abilities. Also, it blew it out. It just fixed the lighting. Okay, we did not get a hunt, so that means we can say goodbye Onryo as well. Nice. All right, we could flick some light switches for the mare, but it's gonna be a little tricky. Let's see if it uses the mare ability to instantly turn off the light. Okay, so right now, next step is gonna be, it's not really doing much. I really would like for you to do a ghost event so I can take a photo. If this is somehow gonna be a thing, let's ask the board again. Or let's check the sanity first to see if we're in like a weird situation. So we were at 74, we were in the dark for a little bit. And you can still, we were at 69, nice. You can see that we're pretty much exactly where we were. There's no ability has occurred, so that's fine. I'm gonna ask the age now. I feel like this is almost impossible to be a Thay, but as you saw last round, we were thinking it could be a Hantu, we were thinking it could be an Oni. You gotta have your, like, it's useful to have your suspicions of what you think it could be, But you gotta, if there's counter evidence to prove that it is a certain ghost, such as the Obake ability, you gotta throw out your theories and go, oh, wait a minute, I just saw 100% guaranteed Obake or Mimic in front of my eyes. How old are you? What the fuck? How old are you? There we go. 68. Goodbye. Goodbye. It is not listening today. Okay, so 68 still the same, which means stay is gonna be off the table. So let's quickly, we're gonna drop this on the floor. We could do a Banshee scream potentially here. I really like the detecting for the ghost outside of a hunt as well. A lot of the time, that's why I like to start with a hunt, test for all the ghosts that you can figure out during a hunt, and then if you can't figure it out, stick around to figure out those hard ghosts, such as the Banshee, the Yurei, Goryo. Obviously Yurei, Goryo are the most annoying ones, but it's fun to figure out those tough ghosts, and you're not gonna get them every game anyway, so it's nice to try your best. Imagine we get the scream in the first second. Now, what's important to know about the new sanity system is that it is no longer oh my god, well, Jesus Christ. Is that it is no longer based on your actual lighting situation, such as right there. Also, what was my sanity? Let's look at this first before we... Okay, wait a minute. No, I asked where are you, or how old are you, right? That's -5. We were at 60. So it could be a Banshee, actually. No, but that was not the singing ghost event. No, I think that was just totally normal. We were at 69. I'm -5. So we were at 65. Then I did a ghost event, which is -10, so I would have been around 50 to 55, which is a little lower than I would expect my sanity to be, but it's not like a 20% sanity drain that you would expect from the Oni, because we also used a board. So let's stick around, let's once again, we're at 50 right now, so the ghost could potentially hunt if it's an early hunting ghost, it seems like. I think we're actually at 51% or something. So we're gonna head back in. Now make sure if you're gonna get into hunting range, you hold on to a smudge, because you don't want to get in too much danger. But yeah, as I was saying here, is that the new system is much simpler than the old system. The old system, it would calculate like how much light was hitting the player to calculate how much sanity drain it should apply to the player. Whereas right now, it's just if light on in room, no sanity drain. So because this light is on here, and I think also this light has to be on. There we go. That's what I was doing wrong. I wasn't turning on this light. Both lights in the room have to be on. So in this case, both of these, which is why I just hunted, because my sanity was still draining. If you turn on both lights like this, I could be in the shadow right here and my sanity wouldn't drain, even though it would on the old system. So I think right now I'm just gonna get a hunt. I'm going to turn on the lights. Every time the crucifix gets used, the lights turn off. That is a bug that I don't know if they'll ever fix again. They had it fixed for a while, but then it came back, and we haven't, it's been radio silence ever since. Now it did hunt in the same, so it hunted while I was in the same general area. I think this is a very unique situation where the room is technically 2 rooms, at least there's a door in between. So I honestly haven't tested much if that applies, like if the shade can be ruled out here. I'm gonna say yes, because it's both the basement, right? So you would assume that the ghost doesn't hunt if you're in either of the basement partitions, but we'll see. If this ends up being a shade, then we'll know something. I'm hearing normal speed. So I'm turning on my flashlight to test for potential yokai. It seems to immediately come to me. Let's see what kind of blinking we get. Do we get fast blinking, slow blinking? Seems like fast. No, it's definitely not an Oni. Oh, those hunts are so short. What the fuck? Did I say definitely not an Oni? Definitely not a Phantom, 100%, because Phantom is like super obvious immediately. I don't think it's an Oni either, but so I just smudged at 36 on my timer, basically, which I have a new trick for the timer. Someone on my Apocalypse Challenge video gave a good tip that I can forward to you guys. So you know of this timer, right? Steam has a built-in timer now that you can click right here, the clock. And you can then like set this to what I was doing, which is 3 minutes, which is basically what you want for a smudge timer. Alternatively, and this is very smart, what the person in the comments was doing is they set this to like 6 hours, then they start the timer, they pin it to the game, and then they just have pretty much what I'm doing when I look to OBS. I read out the time from my OBS, which is counting up in my case. In this case, you just read the time when you smudge it, you read the time from the timer, and then you just minus from there. You set that as like a check mark, and then you count down 90 seconds or 3 minutes from there, and you have the same as, yeah, math is hard, that's true, but I thought that was a really clever thing to do. So you can use the Steam timer that way without having to like open up your Steam overlay, start the timer at the right time, and while you're in the middle of a hunt, like it's gonna be a huge mess. So yeah, I'm gonna unpin that though, because I have my own timer, but shout out to the comment section for that one. Prevents timer jump scare. I'm gonna set up a bit of a poltergeist pile here, which is just throw a bunch of items on top of the couch. I didn't really see too many throws, so I doubt it's gonna be a poltergeist. We can actually rule out a ton of ghosts here. This might be a pretty tough one. Now, the rule of no evidence is that you're doing your best, but you might be wrong. It's like what my parents always said when I was studying for exams. You can't do better than your best. Like, you're gonna get some wrong. You're not always gonna be right, because some ghosts are just so hard, and sometimes you'll just make a mistake. Like, if you get a Yurei, it's really easy to just guess Goryo. Not even guess, just like, you'll not get, like, the ghost won't roam. You'll think, it's gotta be a Goryo, I didn't get any Yurei ability, and then boom, it still ends up being a Yurei. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes you get, like, you could have made something, like, you could have figured it out. Like, you had a myling or something, but you just got, like, tunnel visioned on something. That's just gonna happen sometimes, so you just want to try as best you can, and then, like, 10% of the time, you're gonna make a mistake, and probably another 10% or 50% of the time, you're just gonna get screwed over by the game. It happens. So don't be discouraged if you don't figure it out right away, because some ghosts are just really hard to do. Now, it is not hunting right now, and it's already been 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So let me quickly check what my sanity is right here. Okay, it's not very low. That was my mistake. I should have kind of been in the shadows for a little more. The Ember Fox gave it the 10 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so the fact that it's not hunting at all, if it hunts right now immediately, now the spirit timer is over. It hunts immediately, that seems very likely that it's gonna be a spirit here. So we're gonna, what you want, if you want to make entirely sure that you are dealing with a spirit, you want to double time it. So I'm gonna do the same thing again. I could set up the timer here if I can reset. What? Let's not do that. Let's not be stupid. So I'm gonna smudge it. Oh, come on. The hunts are so fucking short with this setting. I don't know what this must be low hunting durability or duration, because they stop before they even get out of the base, which is ridiculous. Which can, I guess, kind of help if you struggle to find a hiding spot, but man, that makes doing no evidence stuff much harder. I could take more pictures here, but I kind of just want you to hunt again. Let's see if it actually hunts pretty quickly now. I want to stand in a dark room, so I drain my sanity a little more. Why do I want my sanity to be low? I can also ask, how many pickles can you fit up your butt? How old are you? How many pickles can you fit up your ass? It just does not want to. Do you like me? Marco. How did you die? Drowned? What the hell? How do you feel? Excited? Excuse me? How many pickles can you fit up your butt? Oh, fuck! Well, Mr. Ghost, you want to come over here? Hello there. Oh, it's an old man. All right, Smudge. 41, run away. Get me out of here. No pickles. Oh, shit. I'm smudging again. I was scared. That guy was almost did some sussy shit right there. Okay, so we smudged it. 41. So now we're gonna wait again for 3 minutes. Now I want to be in the darkness, or well, I guess I don't have to be anymore because my sanity is already 0. So I'm just gonna grab this smudge stick here, and we're just gonna go to the ghost room. You can also just grab a crucifix to play it a little bit safer. Yeah, that old dude was nice, excited. What the fuck? Excuse me, sir. What are you doing, step grandpa? All right, put the thing in there. Excuse me. More sussy stuff today. Oh god. My sanity is definitely 0. I kind of don't want the crucifix to be here if I'm not going to be in the same room. Because then it's going to be harder to hear it happen. So it's already been 1 minute right now. That's not, so I see people say again that that's not an Oni. We just had a normal ghost event, right? I feel like I'm being gaslit right now. The sounds are totally unrelated from it being an Oni or not. I see this all the time. Whenever you hear the like exasperated sigh or like the loud gasp noise, that usually is from an airball. People think it's always not an Oni. That is not what you're looking for. What you're looking for is the like little mist ball that floats towards you, then hits you, and then makes that noise. That's what the Oni, or what the Oni can do. The Oni can still walk up to you and then make the same noise as an airball would, but it can't actually do the airball. So you gotta make sure that you're not just listening. Like if there's footsteps, if you can see the ghost, it still could be an Oni. This is very important. Now it seems very likely that this is just a totally basic spirit, which we're gonna get those. There's not anything with the spirit outside of the smudge timer, which in this case is a good tip then, to use the timer. If you wanna go all in on the no evidence during this weekly, which I highly recommend. It's already been 2 minutes and 20 seconds, and we still haven't had a hunt, and I'm holding the only crucifix in the map right now, so... so the Bears, thank you for the super sub. I think I usually leave like 10 seconds before the 3 minutes are over. So right now I'm just gonna give it 20 more seconds, giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm also not even in the room, so even a shade will be able to hunt in this case. There are a few ghosts that you can confuse for a spirit. If you are in the ghost room camping to wait out the smudge timer, if it doesn't hunt, it could actually also be a shade, because a shade can't hunt when you're in the same room. Or if you're like having the candle on, it could also be an Onryo. Now it seems like it's just gonna be a spirit. I'm walking out 3 minutes before the timer is over. That's 2 times in a row that we got 3 minutes of like no hunts in between smudges. Now this can happen randomly with any ghost. It's just guaranteed for the spirit. So I'd give it like a 95% chance that we have a spirit right now. But you can always get extremely unlucky and just have another ghost do a similar behavior. So Ember Fox, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Thank you. So I mean, it should be a spirit. Unless we're being trolled right here, which, as I said, is going to happen some of the time, but not all of the time if you play well. All right, there you go. That was a spirit. 22-minute game because I'm explaining a lot to make sure that everyone can be doing this week. I would love to know how it goes in the comments. Now, what I'm going to do now on the final one, which is how I would usually play no evidence, which is start with a hunt. The way so now I did like a pretty passive no evidence so far. Usually I would try hunt immediately, see if we get anything obvious. Oh, I need to spin. Sorry, I forget. Did I not open the door? I did not open the door. Almost robbed the believers of another chance to lose all their channel points. Here we go. All right, what's it gonna be? Will it be a phantom? All right, let's go. Well, seems like the believers do indeed want to go all in. They got 4 all-ins over here. 9% versus 26 million on the doubter side. Holy, all right. Jay Belfield here. Also need to cleanse EMF and sanity. All right. So I forgot what I was saying, but oh yeah, we're gonna do a normal hunt or a normal no evidence hunt here, which usually I would set up the difficulty in a way that I get hunted right away, because then you also get more reward as well. I'm gonna just turn on the breaker real quick, because you really want to make sure that you're looping in the light so you get as much information as possible, and you can also be safer. So I set up 2 smudges here. We are first, before we get the hunt, which I guess that's an upside of not starting with 0 sanity, is that you can actually set up more stuff before you get hunted. We are gonna start by setting up the polter test, which is, as I said, just throw a bunch of items on here. I usually grab these shoes over here. Grab just like 4 or 6 of these shoes, throw them in here. You're gonna notice it pretty well. It's one of the harder maps to do a no evidence test, or to do a poltergeist test, because you actually have to set it up yourself. Some maps already have so many items in the looping spots, so that's one. The other thing you can do during a hunt is set up the salt here in the like entrance to the living room, so then you can also rule out a wraith afterwards. So we're gonna set up 1, 2, you should pretty much cover the whole little hallway right there. And then you can, if you just want to play it safe, put a I guess we could even do this, but I doubt that's gonna really matter. set up a crucifix over here so you don't get hunted on top of when you're drop your sanity using the board over here. So that's how I'm gonna lower my sanity to below hunting range now. Now you can also do it here. You can rule out a shade as well because we started at 100%, right? Let's check once again that we're at 100%. The shade and the Dio only hunt starting from shade 35%, Dio 40%. They are the only ghost that under normal circumstances hunt below 50. The other ghost that has a lower hunting range can be the mare if the lights are on. Now we don't know where the ghost room is and we haven't turned on the lights in the ghost room. I don't think it's the living room because there's also lots of activity happening right now, so that's not going to be relevant here. So if we just ask one question, we can also take the pills here. Well, never mind. I can't. Oh, I can't because I'm at 95% sanity and the game doesn't allow you to take the pills at 95% sanity, lol. So we're gonna ask, where are you? That will give us ghost room information, and it will drain 50% sanity, which means we'll be at like 45%, which is not yet in Dio range, not yet in shade range. So if we get a hunt immediately, we know, bada bing, bada boom, it can't be a Dio, it can't be a shade. Now, obviously, it could still be an early hunter, such as the Thay, god damn it, or any of the other guys. I'm gonna turn back on the breaker again. So it's not a Jinn, at least we know that. Turn this on. Really want to make sure you have the light. You can also grab this right here, very important. We're gonna put that on the pulty pile. So no Jinn. Turn off the breaker. We'll see if it's any of the fast ghosts. We haven't had a fast ghost so far, so we'll see. I'm just gonna ask the board now. Where are you? Oh, basement. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Bathroom. Okay. Goodbye. I think that's the first room upstairs. Like that room over there that has a bathtub in there, right? It's only isolated bathroom, which, by the way, this house is so insanely fancy. Every room, like every bedroom, has basically a built-in bathroom, and then there's an extra bathroom. Oh, come on! This is super annoying. This can happen. Just turns off the breaker nonstop, and then you get in a bad spot. You just really want to keep that on. We're getting ghosts to just turn off the breaker nonstop, even though we haven't had a Hantu so far. Don't do it again. It's not hunting right now, which we should be below 50% sanity, right? We should be at like 45. We are indeed. So this could be a Dio or a shade. We can see here. I don't want to ask more because this is actually really important information here. Yeah, it's 5 bedroom, 3.5 bathrooms. That's fucking crazy. I mean, we also have this, yeah. This doesn't have a bathtub. Yeah, it's just a toilet. Pretty fancy. Hello there? Okay, this is actually starting to almost entirely feel... it's almost certainly not a demon. That would be ridiculous. Almost certainly not a mare. That would be ridiculous. Onryo, those goes to Thay. Oh. Nothing? No. I feel like this almost has to be a shade or a Dio here. Based on just the absolute insane length of no hunting when we're below 50% sanity. And there's no lights on up there. So I'm gonna give it like 15 more seconds here and then I'll lower my sanity more. And then if it's not a Dio, I guess I'll have to go with shade. Now sometimes you get specifically, I don't know, sometimes you just get a ghost that doesn't want to hunt. Even the most aggressive ghosts just sometimes don't want to hunt, weirdly enough. This is really weird though. This is like, I mean, you can see how long we have to wait there. So I guess I'm just gonna ask, how many pickles can you fit up your butt? All right, never mind then. Do you like me? Are you friendly? All right, just full on ignore me, I guess. How old are you? Excuse me. How old are you? There we go. 78. How did you die? Choked. Goodbye. What sanity are we at right now? We are at Okay, this could be... No, we're at 30% now. Okay, so now any ghost should hunt me, including shades. So we shouldn't be having to wait too much longer. Man, if this ends up not being a Dio and I go for shade and it's like a fucking mare, I'm gonna lose my mind. Blinking light down here is a bit weird. So the light usually only blinks when the ghost is close to the light switch, which I don't know how it would have gotten in here without stepping in the salt, unless Wraith, unless it's like standing at the bottom of the stairs and touch the light switch through the wall without stepping over here. Yeah, this is strange behavior right now, especially strange if it's not a shade. Well, we can ask... Oh, it's blinking light again? It could be a shade that's in this area, but then... No, it couldn't, because then it would have had to step in the salt. I said that I wanted to start with a hunt here. The ghost is like, hold my beer, and I'm gonna take a nap. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me. I'm at 30% sanity, please. All right, I guess we go lower. Are you stupid? Or how do you feel? Oh, there we go. Goodbye. Okay, so not a Dio. Not any fast ghost, really. It's not gonna come down here, is it? Come on. Okay, it stepped in the salt. No poltergeist. It's gonna be super short. God damn it. Okay, this is really strange. Really strange behavior. We can see... So what we want to test now, right? Let's say that... So, I feel like this almost has to be... Yeah, it's not a phantom. This almost has to be a shade. But we can actually test for that a little more. We don't just have to leave. You often see me leave if I find pretty strong evidence. Like, if I'm 80% of the way to, like, figuring out the ghost, I usually tend to go for that, because it's a pretty high margin, and it usually you have very diminishing returns afterwards, because you're probably gonna come to the same conclusion most of the time and spend a lot more time doing so, but because we're, like, doing a bit of a guide here, I guess I can stick around to test a little more. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna grab the crucifix, and we're gonna grab the candle. Now, I'm also gonna... Oh, I can't, because I have this much in my hand. We're gonna set this up in the ghost room, which I presume is still gonna be this room right here. And then we're gonna just sit in the ghost room where the ghost would hunt from. Now, this is the worst room, to be honest, because it's such a small room, so I could easily step outside and still hunt, or still use the crucifix. I guess we could place it further into the room to make that less likely. Oh! Or it can just do that, which is hunt from a totally different place to fuck with my entire plan. Thank you, or whatever. I guess I need to be in the hallway now. I think that came from the hallway. Come on. It just changed ghost room, which means, I mean, that's an important thing with the board, is that it doesn't actually tell you the ghost room. It tells you the current ghost location, which could be the ghost room, but it could also just be a room that the ghost is passing through. So I'm gonna put it right here in the middle with a candle. If the ghost blows out a candle in the same room that you are in, it can't be a shade. Shades can't do that. Now, what is really fucked up is that they can do that if they're, like, outside of the room. Like, if they step into this room and then blow out that candle, which will be far away, I wouldn't really expect that to happen, but they could, for example, step into this room, hunt, use the crucifix, make me think that it used the crucifix in the same room, thus can't be a shade, and then still end up being a shade. Can you give me a sign? Let's see if we get any of these candles to go out. We are definitely at, like, a big fat 0. Yeah, I definitely wish that it wouldn't work like that, but then also, to be fair, it kind of adds a little bit to the spice of the game. Like, not always being certain about what ghost it is. And you can get, like, you can get to, like, a 95% certainty pretty much. Like, if you have infinite time, you can get to 100% certainty almost all the time, just with enough effort. But if you want to have, like, not spend more than 30 minutes, you're gonna get to probably around 90 to 95% certainty, which is enough to get it most of the time. And then the times that you're gonna be wrong, you're gonna feel robbed. Immediately, it's not hunting anymore, right? I stepped into the hallway, which I presume is the ghost room, and nothing. It hunted right away. Let's see. So now we can test, right? If I step in here, which is outside of the ghost room, are we gonna get a quick hunt again? Or is it gonna just also do nothing? If it now uses the crucifix or triggers a hunt. Still not hunting very much. I mean, this is short. Hello? I mean, this is also kind of shade, of course, if it doesn't hunt very... So that, very important, we did not see it, but it was actually like a shadow ghost event. But because I had the lights on, it was hard to see. But you could still hear the footsteps, right? You could still hear the foot stompies of the ghost, thus knowing that it's not an airball ghost event, even though it did make a similar sound. What the fuck is this ghost? This is like either a shade or the most shady other ghost. There you go. I mean, I'm just gonna have to go all in on that. This ghost did not hunt at all when I was above 35. Then I placed the crucifix, did not hunt at all when I was in the ghost room, did not blow out any candles. Then I stepped outside and it pretty much immediately hunted. It's gotta be a shade. Someone said it changed form. Well, then it'll be the most shady Obake of all time. But I'm just gonna go with shade, because that was ridiculous behavior right there. There you go. It was indeed a shade, as I almost was guaranteed, or almost guaranteed that. And that was only 12 minutes. That actually felt a lot longer because we were just waiting most of the time because the ghost was so fucking boring. So yeah, there you go. I got some, like, outside of the hunt ghosts this time, which is honestly, those are the hardest ones. The ones during the ghost, or during the hunt, are easy. You've probably seen them, or seen me figure them out 100 times if you watch some of my no evidence videos. So like faster ghosts, the slower ghosts, specifically ghosts such as I can go over them a little bit since we didn't get to touch on those. The Revenant will be really slow when it's not chasing, fast when it is. Hantu will be a constant speed based on the temperature, which could either be fast or slow. We have Myling will be quiet when it's far away from you. You won't be able to hear it until it's very close. Raichu will be really fast when there's electronics around it, such as your flashlight, your EMF, not the light switches in the house, those don't count. Moroi will be will be faster or slower based on the sanity. The lower, below 50, the faster it is. Usually it's gonna be really fast. Dio will be super fast until it reaches your location, then be super slow. They will be a fixed speed based on the age. At the start of a game, it will be really fast. Later on, it will be slower. You can also use the board as I showed. We didn't get one, obviously. And then the twins will either be 10% faster or 10% slower. 50% of the time, it picks either one of them. So you can't get the same speed a bunch in a row. So you have to notice, like, wait, is this slightly faster? And then just get a bunch of hunts until it swaps to the other side of the spectrum and goes slower or faster. So those are the main ones. And then, obviously, you also have, like, Oni blinking, which will blink a lot faster. Phantom will blink super slow. We didn't get those. And then there's a few, like, hard ones, such as the Mare Demon. You have to do those basically on hunting behavior with the sanity. Yurei, you can get the Yurei ability where it closes a door. Yokai is also during a hunt, where it only detects your equipment from really close to you instead of, like, far away as normal goes. So yeah, hope that you learned something today, especially for the ghosts outside of a hunt, and let me know how it went for you. I would highly recommend giving this a try because I love this challenge and it's a good time to test it now that you also get $5,000 as a reward for doing so. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you liked the video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And if you want to join, I love the gamers here in chat. You can join us over at twitch.tv/Instagram. Get the link in the description down below. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one. Bye bye.